Hello everyone, welcome back to the React Basics learning series. Uh, as part of this lecture, we have a lot of points to cover. In the previous lecture, we completed building the entire application, uh, but the refactoring is still pending, and through the refactoring, we are going to learn more about React props and all. So, if you have followed all the lectures so far, ideally you should have this application in working condition. So to check that, you can try adding new task to the to do task list. So let's add a new task. So once I add these tasks, I should be able to mark these tasks as completed. So if you are able to do this, it means like you have followed all the videos so far and you are good to go for this current video. So in the previous lecture, like we were able to finish up the entire application. The focus area for this lecture is to refactor that existing code and modularize it in such a way so that the way we designed all these separate components here, right, in the mockup, similarly we should look for the reusability and try to segregate things and look for abstractions and separate those out as its own components. So let's go back and look at the agenda for today's session. First of all, we are going to refactor the app.js component and move out certain logic from there to its own components. Then again, so we are basically trying to understand how to uh, come up with reusable components so that we don't end up duplicating a lot of code. Then as part of this, we are going to even learn about what are React component props, uh, and then we are going to refactor the header and footer components and move it out in its own component. So let's get started with the coding. So first of all, you need to open your VS Code and run npm start command in your terminal. So once you run the npm start, ideally you should be able to see some logs like this and your application should be up and running. uh, Now once your app starts running, let's get started with the coding part. So first of all, what we are going to do is like we will create a new component folder, and within that component folder we are going to add new components. So let's go to source, click on right click on source and uh, sorry, so go to source and click on add new folder, name it as components. So within this folder we are going to put all the new components. So let's create one more folder here called app header. So within app header we are going to put create new files. So let's call it app header.js, and we are going to have a css file for this particular component. So let's add a new css file that is called app header.css. Now first of all, you need to import the app header css in the app header.js file. So let's do that. So here we will import the app header.css, and we need to write a new React component. So for that you need to create a function, uh, name it as app header, and at the end we need to export this particular component. So export default app header. So structure for the header component is ready. Now let's go back and see in the app.js component what is the content we have within the app header. So at the top, as you can see, this is the app header section. As part of app header, we have only a h2 tag where we have put React Basics Learning to do app. Now let's copy this entire thing and go back to the AppHeader.js file and return. So you can return this entire thing from here. As we don't have any dynamic content in this, like there is no data which is coming through a variable or something, so we don't need to have any props in this case. So which we should be good with this much in the app header component. Now let's go back and see what is the CSS for this app header. So we have used class name app header, and if I go to app.css and look for what all styles that I added for app header, so this is basically the style. So let's cut this style from the app CSS and add it in the app header CSS and save it. Once you are done with that, ideally our component is ready, app header component. This is a very simple component just to get started. And now let's get rid of this particular JSX and add our app header component directly. So as you can see, it is getting imported from components slash. I added this, and if you go at top and see, this is the import path for the app header. If I save this and go back to the React application, I can still see the app header available here. Just to confirm once again, let's comment this code. You need to press Ctrl/ in Windows for commenting this, and after commenting, if you check, see this app header is gone now, and if I uncomment this, header will start appearing again, and the style is as it is. So we are able to refactor the app header component and move it to its own component. Now let's do the same for app footer as well, because app footer is also like very simple. So in this case, we have only this much in the app footer. So let's go to the components and create within components, let's create a new folder called app. You might be having questions like, if this is such a simple logic, why we are refactoring and moving it to its own component? But in real world, like the header and footer components might have a lot of content in it, and you might need to do some dynamic things based on the data or requirement. For that purpose, it will become very easy for you to do those changes if you have refactored all these code into separate components, and each of them has its own responsibility to handle. Now once I created AppFooter, I can create a new file within the AppFooter called appfooter.js, and one more file called appfooter.css. So these are the two files I wanted to create. Now if I go to AppFooter, let's import dot slash app footer.css, and we need to create the component, so we will call it app footer. At the end, you need to return export default app footer. Now because you have already learned how to refactor a simple component, as you can try out doing this, moving the logic to app footer on your own. You can pause the video and try to do that, and then come back. If you are not able to achieve it, come back and continue with the video and see how I have done it. So let's go back to the app footer. So this is the content that we have for app footer. Now let's go back and see this CSS as well. So we are using app footer CSS, and I can check here what is the CSS that we have. So this is the CSS. Let's cut it and add it in the AppFooter.css. That's it. Our AppFooter component is ready now, ready for use. Let's go back into the app.js file and get rid of this AppFooter and add our new AppFooter component. And this is the closing for AppFooter. If you go at the top, you should have a import like this. And now let's go back and check the application. So as you can see, the AppFooter is coming fine. The styling also looks very fine. There is no issue. So then we are done with refactoring the app header and AppFooter. Now we are left with refactoring of the list and list item. I will be doing that refactoring in a new video, because this video will get very long if I continue doing as part of this, and we have lot of things to cover in the refactoring of the list component. So let's cover all those things as part of the next video. Hope you guys are liking the series. If you are liking it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to our channel and share with your friends as well. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon.